Okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to everyone who participated in this afternoon session. My name is Siti Noraida and I'm Assistant Librarian here at PTTA UTHM. This afternoon session will be on getting to know our guides to Web of Science platform. With us is our organizer, Mr. Duan, and our speaker. After that, Dr. Subhashri, and welcome to the session. And before that, I would like to acknowledge to all users that Web of Science platform is on free trial until 31st May next month. Access to Web of Science is available via PTTA's website. Hold on, I will share another page. Okay, can you all see my sharing page now? Okay, this is our PTTA's website, ptta.uthm.edu.my. So for all users from UTHM, you can access it here. You can see the menu icon here. So you can find the list on article databases. So click on this icon. And this is the list of databases subscribed by PTTA. And the first on the list is Web of Science that is on trial until 31st of May. So you can click on Explore More button. It will directly for all users from UTHM to log in using your TCIS account for staff, and for student is SMAP online. All of you can try to access them. So access from article databases should be via easy proxy. And after that, you can directly go to our platform. Here now, Web of Science is on trial, so you can access it free till the 31st of May. Okay. If any problem, you can directly request help from us at PTTA. So this is our just cancel. You can use directly here. Okay. So that's it for the access from our website PTTA. Okay, for this session, my first staff is Dr. Subhashrina, if I correctly pronounce it. Okay, a Clarinet representative. I welcome to Mr. Duan also as our organizer here for today. All right, without further delay, I hand this session over to Mr. Duan and Dr. Subhashi. For a question, maybe users and participants can use a raise option or chat option. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Puan Nurul. Thank you, Puan Siti Noraida. I think there is one user by the name of Pravintran has some issues in terms of accessing it. But let me just do some, Pravintran, if you don't mind, let me just do some introduction. Then we'll get back to your issue. First and foremost, selamat petang and good afternoon to everyone who have taken this opportunity to attend this session. We first had our first discussion on Web of Science with UTHM and the research team and the library team in early of January. So as we move towards this journey of UTHM finally subscribing to Web of Science, inshallah by this year, is that we are trying to actually conduct like an environment for all the users today. Basically, we start with the trial for 2 months, 60 days, from the 1st of April up to 31st of May. And at the same time as well, this particular session will act as a hands-on training session. So we require and request humbly that everyone that is attending the session today to actually log into the portal. So at least my colleague and my consultant, Dr. Subhashri can actually share with you the tricks and tips on how to navigate Web of Science platform, and also during the free trial period as well, you will understand and also gain valuable insights on how to maneuver Web of Science as well. Without further ado, I'll pass it the floor to Dr. Subasri. If you have any questions, you can let Puan Siti Noraida know, or Puan Nurul, and also myself. At the end of this session, I will actually share you my contact number and email. Any issues, you can let us know on it. Okay, so I hope everyone will enjoy the session. Dr. Subasri, I'll pass it to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Duan. Just give me a moment to share my screen. Uh, I hope my screen is visible to everybody.
Yes, you can see loud and clear. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So we will also be recording this session. Oh, okay, so you have already started recording it. Perfect. So as Professor Siti Muskan, said, you have a trial access of Web of Science, and on Web of Science, if we go over here, you can see, um, one thing that I would really urge all of you to do is, even when you are logged in for your trial access, do try to create an account if possible. Okay, so do try to create an account on your login page, the landing page. You should have a register prompt. Okay, so please register and create an account, because if you would like to use certain features like EndNote, which will be available to you complimentarily during the trial period, you require to have a personal account. You can use Web of Science without getting into a personal account from your Easy Proxy library page. However, having a personal account will allow you to create alerts. It will allow you to import references onto a reference management software and give you a more personalized experience. Once you have logged in, and you can see as my personal account, you will also be able to see your search history. So whatever you're searching in any session, that history will come. Now we also have a feature called as marked list. The marked list feature, basically what it does is it creates a kind of a folder for you based on your searches. So this is a very helpful feature to organize your search queries, to organize your results into different, silos and folders for different projects. Now we will be starting out with a topic. So can I have a small show of hands for all the people who are joined in today? Um, how many of you are from an engineering background? Because I plan to take some people have asked a question, can I use my Publons account to log in? No, you cannot, ma'am, because the Publons account or the researcher profile account that many of you have created, that is not mapped to a subscription account. Okay, so you will not be able to log in. You will be able to um, go to Easy Proxy. You can use your Publon account to create because you will be on the Easy Proxy portal. You can I'm guessing use your Publon account to it will depend, because most of your Publon accounts or your researcher profile accounts are created for a free access. And even though you are from the Easy Proxy, access where you have IP-based access to this, subscription, you might face some challenges. So my suggestion is for all of you who already have Publons or researcher profile accounts, if in case you are not able to log in, okay, even when you are on the Easy Proxy remote access page of your institutions, where library website, please go back, log out, re-register with another email ID, and then try to log in onto Web of Science. I hope that is clear. Engineering background, I think we had, because I'm going to use an example of artificial intelligence and deep learning for our first set of keywords. Okay, so I hope that these keywords are fine to start a mock search. So on your first first page, the landing page, you should be seeing this. Different kinds of drop downs, topic, title, author. They are pretty self-explanatory. Now, my suggestion is when you start to do a search, do not use all fields, but use topic. What all fields does it anywhere in your search, in your searchable metadata of a record, it will be able to, so for example, if I want to look for publications which have the term Malaysia in their title abstract, and I put all fields Malaysia, I'll be getting all publications which originate from a Malaysian affiliated institution where the address is Malaysia, which is not necessarily what my search goal was, right? So if you want to do a search, the best way to do a search is going to the topic section, which will search in title, abstract, keywords. So let us go to topic and we will search for the term deep learning and neural network. Okay. Now, please remember that this term and it is a Boolean operator, meaning that I'm looking for publications which have both these phrases. So tip number one, if you would like to see a phrase as it is, please use quotation marks. The term and, okay, the Boolean operator and means both the keywords are supposed to be there in the manuscript. You could also have or. If I wanted, let's say, deep learning in the title, abstract, and keywords, but not the term neural network, that is also possible. So see, not neural network. And now if I do and neural network, search. Now I have much fewer results. Okay. Now, when you do a search and you get a long list of results, like the ones I'm getting, what I have done is basically, I have not done a very specific targeted search. I have done a broad search, right? Deep new learning and neural network, there are thousands of publications in that particular field. Now, if I want to narrow down, that's where Web of Science is extremely helpful to a researcher. Now, if you notice, let's go one by one on these features. Please remember, we will also be sharing a manual with you, so do not worry about this query strategies, etc. So I have done deep learning and neural network. Right in the beginning, can you see quick add keywords? Now what is this? Very simply put is, Web of Science uses machine learning to understand in this data set of 91,780 results, what are the most frequently occurring keywords. So deep learning, convolutional neural network, which is known as CNN. So you can see a different keywords. Now, if you would like to add a keyword, one thing you must remember is when I add a keyword from this list, so this basically gives me suggestions how to improve my data set. Like what are some of the most commonly used keywords or terms by authors or scientists working in that area. Now, if I want to add this keyword into my search query, please remember this plus sign is actually the odd Boolean operator, meaning what I am now doing, this search is deep learning and neural network or convolutional neural networks. So when I do this, my number of papers will actually go up. This is not a constraint to the search query. It is actually expanding the search query. Now, if I want to put this as a constraint, then what I can do is either I can edit this particular query, okay, go back here and I can probably add a row. topic, and I can say convolutional neural network So I am adding a constraint. 45,000. Okay, so you can either choose this keyword to get an idea of what are the most frequently used terms in a bigger data set, and then decide what I want to so go to the subset by modifying the original query with an AND operator. But if you choose from here, all will happen is you are going to be putting this keyword with the OR operator, and your data set will increase. Now this let's say 45,000, this is what I want to understand. I am trying to do a bibliometric or a landscape study. Now, what can I understand from this data set based on the filters available on Web of Science? One thing I can understand is, okay, now our first thing is I can understand which are the highly cited papers, which are the review articles, how many of them are early access papers. Now, this is very important. Please remember, on Web of Science, the early access date of a publication is always preserved, meaning that let us look at a publication. Okay, I'm hoping this one. Okay, let's look at this one. I'm just hoping that this one has some. Okay, yes, good. Now, can you see? Published March 2021, early access February 2021. So the two dates are preserved. Okay, sometimes you will notice the early access year and the final publication year might also differ. So early access could be November 2021 and the final publication date or year was, let's say, March 2022. In that case, what do I do? It's very simple. Go and you can always say, show me the final publication years. I don't want to know the early access date. I want to only look at publications by their final publication year. Okay. Now I am going to take a small break and make sure that whatever we are discussing are, it is being registered. And if there are any questions regarding this, are there any questions? Okay. Now, very interestingly, if you notice over here, look at this open access. This is something very, very important to know on Web of Science. Web of Science has a very huge collection of full text publications. We have an algorithm that can scour the entire internet and find for you the full text of a paper, provided it is not under any copyright embargo. In order to make sure that you are going to be able to read the full text of all the publications that are available through Web of Science, and if you want to know, can you see this open access filter? All the filters are on your left hand side of your screen. If you go to the open access filter, now over here, if you see, there are 21,000 papers, 21,000, almost 22,000 publications which are open access. Now out of them, gold open access is 14,190, meaning these are from journals which are free to read or they are not behind the paywall. However, there are some journals where the journal itself, not everything, is freely available. So they are gold hybrid, or there are paywall journals where some of these papers right now are free to read. A very huge collection of papers we have got from repositories. A lot of publishers, after a certain period of time, allow you to self-archive your full text publications without any copyright violation. So you can put them on repositories like DSpace, PubMed Central. The archive also has postprints. So multiple different repositories are available to you. So we also fetch papers. So that's the reason why today on Web of Science, out of the 180 million plus publications that we have, almost 21 to 22 million publications free full text. In fact, if I look for the last 5 years on Web of Science, I do a search in last 5 years, how many records are there? You will notice 52% of the records on Web of Science have a full text version associated with them. Now, this is for your UHTM library. This will help your library, really manage budgets, etc. It will be very helpful to UTHM to understand which journals you should really need to subscribe to, and for your researchers. This is going to be very helpful. So, UTHM researchers, you will find a lot of full text content through Web of Science. Please make sure that you are saving them somewhere, you are downloading them, and for that, what do you need? No, it's very simple. All you need is to go to Google and click and say EndNote click. I am putting in this link. I will also have this link on your I will also have this link on your manual. So don't worry about that. But right now, okay, so on this you can, so for example, let us look at this paper, research on news text. Now, if I have EndNote click, it will work in the background and I should be seeing, can you see over here? There is a publisher version of the PDF found, and this will be saved to my locker. So I can create an entire digital. You can go to my locker. And see, and I can also add, I can put a tag to this. Okay. So available tags are, I don't really have a tag right now for this, but I can add a tag. So let's add a tag called deep learning. This is very helpful for you to segregate and keep all your papers in one place. So see, deep learning, done. You can get the citation to Web of Science if you want to remove it. This one also doesn't have a tag. I can put like a favorite or, multi-author, whatever. Okay. So we have discussed about how you can access the full text through Web of Science through EndNote click. I hope that part is clear to everybody. You will go over here. It's a simple browser plugin. You'll just add it to Chrome. And once you're adding to Chrome, you'll be able to see it over here. EndNote click has access, and you will have a digital locker where whatever paper there is a full text through Web of Science, you'll be able to see. Eventually, if your institution takes a Web of Science subscription, this is for Professor Sinti. If you take a subscription to Web of Science, we can also link your library holdings. So what will happen, ma'am, is that as you are searching on Web of Science, right? As you're searching on Web of Science, whatever is there in your library subscription, those papers full text will also be highlighted over here. They don't have to go to multiple databases. From one database, you can do the searching and get the full text and save it digitally in a locker. I hope that is clear. There is a question on journal classification. I will address that in a bit. Now let us go through each of the filters that we have. We have filters on the publication year. We have talked about it. We have filters on document type. So for example, if I want to read only the proceedings papers or the review articles, that is possible. Many of you talked about your Publons profile. As you already know, there is a free Web of Science researcher profile that can be created. Now, our algorithms have created millions of researcher profiles already through machine learning and algorithms. And many of the research, if you can also log in and claim a profile, and you can make changes to a profile. When you have a big data set, you can actually go and see. So for example, Yudong Zhang. Yudong Zhang from University of Leicester is somebody who has worked a lot on deep learning and CNN. And if I want, and if you, as you notice, Dr. Zhang actually has he has got a highly cited research award. His profile has been claimed. He has actually put his picture also. And you can see where, the institutions that he has been, excuse me, associated with. He has been awarded a highly cited researcher award since 2019. You can see that he has 577 publications with how many times he has been cited, how many times he has been cited by patents, the entire report. This is a very wonderful feature for many of you who are looking for collaborators or trying to understand in a field who are some of the key opinion leaders or the top people in my field that I want to work with them. I would like to see what are the work. I want to follow their work. So if I wanted to follow Dr. Zhang's work, okay, I can go to view profile, right? And I can add an alert. So whenever there is a publication, so author, I can do two. I can have an author publication alert or an author citation. So whenever somebody cites any publication from Dr. Yudong Zhang, I get a notification, or whenever he has published something new, I get a notification. Now for the UTHM library team, this would be very helpful if you can get a list of all the Web of Science profiles from your institution. You can have a publication or citation alert. This will allow you to monitor the progress of your researchers. For individual researchers, if you create an alert for yourself, it will be helpful for you to understand who is citing your work and how many times are you being cited, etc. I'll take a small break over here to understand if there are any questions at this moment. Any questions at this moment on researcher profiles? If you have a question on how to create a researcher profile, that is also very simple. Let me go to my own researcher profile. Okay, this is my researcher profile. Okay. Now, if I want to create a researcher profile, that's very simple. Once you are logged in to a particular, just give me a moment. Just click cancel. Discard. Let's go to researcher profile here. So I'm just trying to show you how you can actually, go and create your researcher profile. So let's go to researchers over here. So you'll search for your name. When I search for my name, I have different. Okay. So this is actually my researcher profile. If you notice, right? Now, if you say this, I am the author, all you need to do is claim your record. Now, the reason why it is saying this is not my record, because I have used another, author email address. So in that case, all I need to do is go and add my researcher profile, the papers to my profile. It's very simple. You can view the citation for a particular researcher profile. And all you will need to do is claim your record. Okay, because I'm logging in from a different ID, I cannot claim my record. But typically, if you are logged in from, so you can go and say add publications by a manual method or an email address, or you can sync it with ORCID. So you can enable your sync ORCID. So you can manually export it to ORCID. You can upload your data. You can also put your peer review, your data, your publication, etc. You can also create a profile, add a photograph, everything. So for all of you who want to create a Web of Science researcher profile, please do so. If you have a problem, let us know and we will help you out in how to create a researcher profile. Now let us go back to our searches. So that's not a problem because your search query is saved. Now, if you are working with a collaborator and you would like to share your search, this is where you go. You copy your query link. I can open up this query anywhere. And it's, as you can see. Okay, now let us go and try to see all the different other things. Let us go to Web of Science categories. Now, this is regarding the question that was asked a little bit earlier. How to see in which a category a journal has published a paper. Now we are a little bit flipping it. In this particular data set where I've used the term deep learning and neural network, basically convolutional neural network, you can see the publications are mostly in engineering or in artificial intelligence or information systems, right? If I want to see only those papers which are in artificial intelligence, so this is the category of the journal. Okay, it's a journal level classification. On the other hand, okay, I can also do a new search. Now, can I have a journal recommendation? Somebody would like to know. The question was asked by Siti Rodha Binti Ruslan. So, ma'am, if you can give me the name of a journal. I'm sorry, it was asked by Ahmed Ali Sial. So, sir, if you can give me the journal name and we can find out in which category it has published the papers. In that case, we will start searching by publication titles. Okay, I think we have an answer. Water, air, soil pollution. Is this the name of the journal or these are just the keywords?
It is the name of journal.
Okay. I have air, water, soil, and water research. I don't think we have that journal. Let me just go and check. Air, water, and soil pollution, right?
I have shared the link in the chat.
Okay, just give me a moment. Let me just see. Uh-oh. Mm. Okay. Okay, this is the way it is written. So we got the journal. Okay, 14,000 results from water, air, and soil pollution. Um, you can see journal impact factor latest was 2.9. And if I want to see the categories in which it has published the papers, it comes under the three categories. The journal comes under this category of environmental sciences, atmospheric sciences, and water resources. And if I go back over here, this journal is a quartile 2. It is ranked higher in water resources, but it is a quartile 3 journal in both environmental sciences and meteorology and atmospheric sciences. Does this answer your question, sir, as to the category as the in which this journal publishes?
Can you please go down to any paper of this journal and describe in which category that paper has been published?
Okay, so let me explain more clearly. When we are talking about the Web of Science category, sir, that category is assigned to a journal. So every paper in this journal will get three classifications, three categories in which it is classified. Now we also have a document level classification. So this is the Web of Science category. Please remember, based on what the quartiles, because you already have an access to journal citation reports. Duan, can I just get a confirmation? UTHM does have journal citation reports, right? I think I saw that on their website.
Yes, yes. Yep, they have just
Yes. So when we talk about the quartile information of a journal, right? It is a quartile 1 or a quartile 2 journal. We are actually talking about Web of Science category. So a journal gets it gets one or more categories assigned to it, and all the publications within that journal will get those categories assigned to the journal. Okay. However, we also have a document level classification, which you can see by the citation topics. These are topic clusters we have created. So over here, if you notice, the topic clusters tell us the most common cluster in which publications from this journal belong to are contamination and phytoremediation. Now, if I go and check a paper, you will be able to see this hierarchical classification system. Sir, can you see this citation topics? The broadest category of the papers is in chemistry, followed by, it could be water treatment or phytoremediation. This is a meso category. And then you have a micro category based upon exactly what are the author keywords used and what are, they talking about. We have clustered the different author keywords and we've created a very granular topic clustering. So if you want to understand that in this particular journal, what are the different? So this journal, the broadest category of these articles, would be somewhere in chemistry. But in the meso category, you have contamination, soil science, water treatment, herbicides. This is okay. And in the narrowest category, sorry, let's go back to our result set. And in the most granular category of micro citation topics, we have heavy metals, proof wall, heavy metals absorption, aerosols, etc. This is a good way of understanding what are the, in a particular data set, what is it talking about? What are the focus areas? Even for a big data set like deep learning, this would be very helpful because 45,000 papers, it's not possible for you to understand and read. But if you had a quick idea of what are they talking about, we have NDVI, fault diagnosis, face recognition. I want to look at only natural language processing papers. I can do so. Does that answer your question slightly better, sir?
Yes, now it's clear. Thank you very much.
Yes. So I urge all of the researchers who are going to be using Web of Science, please do look into the citation topics to understand a data set better. Now, on the other hand, sorry, let's just go back to the search history. On the other hand, let's look at this data set. 45,492. One more thing I wanted to talk about was retractions. We also record retractions. So if you notice in this data set, there are several retracted publications. This will be very helpful for you so that you are not, quoting any discredited material. Okay. Going back. Now I'm trying to look into a very small specific Web of Science or a journal category. I'm looking in deep learning and neural network in the journal category of artificial intelligence, computer science. And now I want to know that in this area, what are the journals which are very popular, or where are people publishing their research? Let's go and look at the publication titles. So lecture notes in computer science, neural computing applications. Not only that, what you can also do is you can try to sort these by citations highest first. Maybe look at only the last 3-4 years data, so that your research is quite contemporary. And I want to look at only articles, not even review articles. Refine. So 3,500 publications. Now, if I want to go, I can also go back to analyze results to see where are people publishing. For these three, these are full length articles. Okay, sorry, affiliations, no. Yes, we want to look at publication titles. Okay, so now we see neural computing applications is one of the top journals where people are publishing very frequently, but that is not enough for me. Maybe I would like to know neural computing and applications. What is, okay, so it is a quartile 2 journal. It's not a quartile 1 journal, but it's a very popular journal. So as a researcher, if you think that your work, and again, as you know, Sir Ahmed said, what kind of papers are these people publishing in this journal? So I go to topic. They're publishing on NDVI, face recognition, action recognition, econophysics. It's quite broad. Okay, it's an application-based journal. Is very broad. Okay. And I can also try and exclude. For example, there are 122 publications in neurosciences and biomedical engineering. So let's say I won't want to look at papers which are talking about the medical applications of the neural network. Take them away. Refine or exclude. This is a very helpful tool to understand in your field where are people publishing, what are the most, impactful journals. You can also go to journal citation reports directly from here. For all of you, you have already journal citation reports. So you already would probably be asked to access it in a different way. But you can always go to categories. I'm going to put the category of artificial intelligence. Let's go down a little bit. Category, we have 193 journals, right? And if I look by the top journal is Foundations and Trends in Machine Learning. Okay. Now with this information, I can go back to Web of Science, see how foundation and trends. Yeah. Typically, if you have something called and, it is not a part. Trends. Okay, let me just put it. Journals are sometimes written in a slightly different way. Yeah, foundation. If you notice the and, so that the system doesn't recognize it as a Boolean operator. 72 results. Oh, it is very, very selective because it has hardly 4 or 5 papers every year. Very interesting. Journal impact factor 32.8. Oh wow. 5,000 citations, 1,800. These are like the Bible. And out of 72, 50 papers are accessible. And if you want to know what kind of papers are they publishing on, let's go to micro, compressed reinforcement learning, deep learning. So you can understand this. Now, what other things can I understand from the filters? I can look at the affiliations. Again, great way to understand which organizations are working in a particular field. If we also capture the departmental data wherever it is reported. So for example, Harvard University Department of Statistics has 2 publications in this journal, Foundations and Trends in Machine Learning. It is captured. We can look at the publishers. It is called now publishers. You can also look. So this again, as a researcher, if you want to know how many publications Wiley has in a certain area. So maybe I can do a thing called publisher. I can search by publisher. So here we have Wiley. Okay. And I want to know in the area of water management. So water resources. Okay, we have 42,840. Articles. This seems to be the most, this is a journal which has the most now citations, because if you notice the first few papers, most of them are from hydrological processes, and you have river research. Most of them are from hydrological processes. Let's see there. So Wiley, this again is a great way to understand that, okay, Wiley doesn't seem to have too many quartile one journals in water resources. You can also go to journal citations to find that out. So you can go to publishers. 1400 journals. Water resources. Apply. Okay. Top journal is interdisciplinary reviews. We had taken away review article, environment toxicology, flood risk, and then hydrological processes. Use journal citation reports and Web of Science together to give you a very, very rich idea about where are the top papers in a field being published in. Which publishers should I be looking at? Excuse me. Which ones should I be following? You can look at a country or region. Now, this is also very interesting. I would like to understand, or I would like to publish in a YD journal on water resources, but I want to understand journals where people from similar economies or from Asia have published. So maybe People's Republic of China, India, Japan, South Korea. We'll also look at whether Malaysia has a lot of. Malaysia also has 207 papers, and we are refining all of them. Okay, so this would also be very helpful for you to understand which journals have a history of publishing, you know, from and which are these journals. First of all, let us look which are the Wiley journals where Asian institutions have published. Hydrological processes followed by environmental toxicology and clean soil, air, water. Three journals. Okay, you can always look up, as we know, these two are top tier journals with high impact factors. You can always go to JCR over here and quickly look up, what is the um, journal impact factor for a particular journal. It is also overlaid on Web of Science, and this gives you a good idea. Okay, this is where similar institutions or similar geographies have published. Maybe there's an editor over here in hydrological processes, or a author whom I know. I can suggest that as a reviewer. This is one of the biggest use case of Web of Science, understanding where do I publish, which reviewers do I recommend to a journal for my manuscript, etc. You could also use the same idea. So let us say I would like to know I'm working on water resources, and I would like to know the papers which are coming in from Malaysia. So Malaysia. And who are the top authors, researchers from over there? Can you see? These are some of the top researchers from Malaysia who are working on water resources. In terms of affiliation, who are, so we have University Technology Malaysia, University Science Malaysia, then UPM, etc. Now, if I would like to know about the funding agencies, so I'm writing a grant proposal, where should I be sending or which grants should I be monitoring? We have funding agency. Out of the 4,000 plus journals, a good number of papers are also, almost 30% of the papers are also open access. I can have a look at that. This gives me an idea about what are people in water resources from Malaysia. What is the kind of work? What are they talking about? What is the kind of work they are, reporting? The research areas. Let's go to citation topic. Many of the papers are on adsorption, nanofiltration, So mostly on water treatment, some on oceanography, there is on climate change and bioengineering. So overall, extremely helpful features for you to narrow down your research area. The final thing on Web of Science that I want to talk about, and this is something which is not there in any of your competitor products, is something called as citation class. Now, many of the papers that we're looking at, they are highly cited, right? But what if I want to know in what context they have been cited? Has a paper been cited in the discussion section of other papers? Has it been cited in the methods? How do I know that? So I'll go to citation class. Let us say papers which have been cited in the discussion mostly. So now we have this review article. I don't want to look at review articles, so I say I don't want to let myself exclude review articles. So now this is kinetic 257, water resources, logistic. And if I go over here, click on this journal, this record, I can actually go and see the papers which have cited it in the discussion section, and I'll see the in-text mention. Okay, so this is very helpful to understand why a paper has been cited and how it has led to improvement in science and technology in the long run. Whenever you click on a particular record, on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll be able to see a citation network, which shows you how many times a paper has been cited. In this case, this is now be cited once. It also shows you your cited references. This way, you can do a multi-level search. So not only are you searching using keywords, but you can go back and forth in the references to understand which paper. And you can also see, can you see this paper has so many different references and it tells you in which reference has been cited in what context. All of the things that you are searching, they can be exported to any reference management tool. EndNote Online is the de facto, but if you want, you can also add it to your researcher profile. Okay, if this was a paper which you have, authored, just click on Add to Refine Researcher Profile, it will get added. You can also, if you're using a reference management tool already and you'd like to add Web of Science results to that particular, tool, please use the RIS format, and that will is compatible with all the reference management tools like Mendeley, Zotero, etc. You can 1000 records at one time. You can extract and put it into an Excel sheet. Okay, so I'll again go back and I'll search this. Right, and I can export this 1000 at one time into an Excel sheet. I can export to EndNote Online. As I said, I can add it to a researcher profile, create a tab delimited profile, etc. You can also add it to a mark list. So as I said, you can create a folder. So if you see, select a list. I'm going to just put it in this one. See, water electrolysis. So I know it's not that one, but just, so you can create a list of papers. Okay, and you can have multiple such folders or lists. So for example, I already have 49. You can create 50 at one time. Can you see this? And you can just click on this. Yeah, I click on this. All the 630 papers which are there in this particular folder, they will come up. And again, this one I can export it as a, so it's a great way of creating, a project related list of publications that you can come back and refer to. Now, other than the core, now this is a core collection. Remember, core collection is a collection of 22,132 journals. Now, how do you know a journal is there on Web of Science or not? We have the master journal list. So master journal list is freely available. You can just log in using the same account that you have created for your Web of Science. And again, master journal list is extremely helpful for you all. You can search whether a certain journal is right now there on Web of Science or not. So the journal that we looked earlier, water, air, soil, pollution. Third journals. So it'll ask you, do you mean this journal? You can view the profile page of this journal. So 1971 was the first year it was published. It has a frequency of continuous publication. You can also say, I want to see similar journals. So journals which are there in all the three categories, just click over here. It shows you similar journals. Now, let's go to the two other databases that you have access to as part of your trial. They are the preprint citation index and the ProQuest Dissertation. Preprints are papers which have not yet been, in any kind of peer-reviewed journal, but in certain areas like deep learning or very dynamic research areas, very helpful to look at. So you can see 40,000 preprints are there in deep learning. If I wanted to look at, and just 3,000 only, I mean, till it's not even half of the year has not passed and we already have 3,000 preprints in deep learning. It might be a very good idea to quickly look up, especially if any UTHM researcher is interested in patent filing and they want to know that they are not missing out on any literature. This is a great way to understand. Okay, so these papers have not yet, please remember that they have not yet made into any kind of formally peer reviewed journal. Okay, but they are still important to the ecosystem because many of them will eventually get into journals. They represent the state of art and breakthrough research. Okay. And we have more than 2.5 million preprints. Now, once you go to preprints, okay, preprints are, again, please remember, preprints are not formally peer-reviewed literature, but if you are trying to understand what's happening the latest in your field, it will be very helpful. Now, let us go into ProQuest dissertations and thesis. Okay, so we will do the same thing. Instead of, let me just try to search for convolutional neural network. So now I'm trying to look at papers which have not been published as a journal article, but are in form of the thesis dissertations. This is often overlooked, but they can also be very helpful for giving you ideas. So we have a good number, 2,200 dissertations and thesis. See, applications. A lot of them are actually on medical sciences. Very interesting. In academia, okay, if you're looking at CNN, many of them are on medical. You can go to research areas over here, right? Go to computer science. I don't want to look at the medical imaging only. One-shot learning with pre-trained. If it is freely available, you will be able to see a version of it. However, if you are not able to see a version, that's because you do not have access to the ProQuest full text of the dissertation. You can always, if it's a very important dissertation, there's an option to purchase a copy. You also have access to Korean Citation Index and the SciLO. So Korean Citation Index, as a name, indicates, you can do Korean language searches. It is for Korean journals. Very helpful. I am now going to take a break on Web of Science, and I am going to ask you all so that you have questions we can answer. I want to keep this trial purposely to 1 hour so that whatever we have discussed today, you can process and let us know that what seems to be areas where you think that you have not got the hang of it. We the one because they have until 31st May. I think we should also do a small check-in, maybe after 15 days, to understand what are the actual problems people are having using the platform.
Yeah, sure, sure. Because that was the plan that I have in mind with one rule as well. Because it's a trial for 60 days, so we will do another follow up, perhaps in early of May. Then, if it's required for us to do another training, we will do it as well for everyone here. Yeah.
Yes. So we can do a little bit more advanced, but and we can also take more questions and make it more interactive. So we will not go through the database per se on the next training, but what whenever you have used the database and you have come up with maybe a problem in formulating a query or result sets that you did not understand, we'll take those kind of questions in the next session. But with this, I will open up the floor for questions. So I really like to know how are you all going to be using Web of Science. Please remember today's session is mostly for the researchers who are faculty, students, etc. We are not looking at Web of Science from a librarian perspective, where they are more into looking at citation reports and how many publications from a particular institution. This is for you all to do a literature search, to understand what is the state of art, to understand who are the key opinion leaders, top institutions in a particular field, etc. So let us have some questions now.
So is there any question from the participants? I don't see any. I'm not sure if they will try out later and have figure out more question after that, it maybe. So I'm not sure if the session will be continue later or what. Mr. Duan, you said just now you will have another session. Am I
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Yes,
Puan Noida, how it works is that I believe that the 83 participants minus by 4 of us today, you, myself, Puan Nurul, and Dr. Subasri, is that I believe that this will be their first time accessing it. So try first. What do you call it? Navigate and maneuver from the platform itself. If you have any questions in the meantime, you can compile the questions. But if it's a bit pressing, I will give you my number here. Okay. You can just WhatsApp me or call me or even email me. Yeah.
okay, that's a good question. We have how to use manuscript match. That's a good question, sir. So for manuscript match, you will need to go to EndNote, okay, the online version, or you can also go to the master journal list. Just go to match manuscript over here. Add your title and your abstract. Okay, just add your title and abstract. If you're going to the match section from EndNote, you can also add your references. So if you have created a list of references and added on to EndNote, you can use that, or basically title and abstract. That's it. You don't even need to go to EndNote. You can do it from the manuscript matcher. Let me just use one. Mm, Just give me a moment. Search. Okay.
Subashri, can you share your
Yeah.
screen, Subashri?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just forgot that I've stopped sharing. Okay. So on the master journal list, MGL, there is a match manuscript feature. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a small paragraph. And this is not going to necessarily show you the best journal, but I think you get the idea. Make your title and abstract as close to the final one. And this will find your journals. Okay, so it has given me 28 results. Okay, this is very interesting. Please make sure environmental science and pollution research is from Springer. But right now, this is on hold. Okay, so there is some concern about the content quality in this journal. All of you, when you are deciding to publish somewhere, please go and have a look on MJL. Because if it is on hold, my recommendation would be to wait before you publish in that journal. So I hope this answers the question for Sir Ahmed. Any other
Yes.
questions?
Thank you.
Is there any more question? Or maybe we can summarize this session for this afternoon. Thanks to Dr. Subashri for lots of explanation and guidance earlier. We hope there will be more of this session in future, hopefully. It is hoped that all participants will be benefit a lot and then be able to pass on today's knowledge to other education friends. Don't forget to complete this assignment before leaving. Before that, I would like to ask for participant feedback for our survey on subscribed databases by PTTA.
There's one more thing that I would like to, please, let you know that I am sending Duan right now so just give me a moment. So Duan, please, forward the Web of Science user guide. This will be very helpful, for everybody. You can use the user guide. It's a very detailed user guide that we have created. And this will help you navigate Web of Science and be like a primer for all your concerns. And then, of course, we'll do a.
Okay, can Subashri. Yep, I will
Yes.
forward it to the Puan Siti and also Puan Nurul on this. Yep.
Yeah, I think I've already sent it. So just have a look. It's a little bit of a bigger file. So it might take a minute or two to reach you.
Okay, can.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody, for your time and really appreciate.
Thank you, Dr. Subashri.